Crafters, I am back, and we are going to finish up hinge 6, which is page 11 and 12, and we're going to get going with that. So this is the one with the 4 flaps on the page. So I already put my ribbon down, and I used the green ribbon, and I went in 2.5 inches to the middle of the ribbon, 2.5 inches here. And I used score tape on the bottom and then score tape over the top of them. I also took my little doodads here and I glued them front and back. I'll have to wait till they dry a little bit more to kind of clean up the edges a little bit, but that's on the ends of the ribbons on each one of them. And you're good to go. So let's go ahead and I'm going to get our pockets onto our page first. So, and the pockets were cut. Let's get our ruler out here. And our ruler, this page was cut 10 by 4 3/4. So all 4 of them were cut by 10 3/4. And then this was scored at 1/2 inch for our flap on there. And then we scored at, well, at the 1/2 inch. If you're going to score right in a row, you've got 1/2 inch there. And then the next score is going to be at 5 3/8, just shy of that, or 5 1/4. So what I did is I put this under and I scored this then at 4 7/8. That's how I did it for mine, but whatever is most comfortable. And part of the reason why I scored that is so that I had a little bit of room on this side. Now I did not get the mats or cut the mats for the insides of these. I meant to do that, but I forgot. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the rest of this in, and then I will come back and do the matting on that in a little bit. So these are going to go on either side, and then these are our ribbons for holding those mats down, so there's no need for any magnets. So in order to get this set, I like to go ahead and do this from the side. Makes it a little bit easier. And I just want to see exactly how these are lining up on here. So pretty much directly the width. All right. Sorry for my scratchy voice, not really sure why it is, but it's a little scratchy today. So we're going to put that one down. And then let's take this one. And I'm going to leave just a hint of room in between that. All right, here's my cloth. Here we go. So we've got that side. Got one little piece here that seems to be slightly off. So always check that before you finish off with your matting and everything. Maybe I didn't score this perfectly straight. So let's just make sure we're good. There we go. All right, and then on the other side, we will get these pockets down. Not pockets, but flaps down. And looks like this is coming over that just a little bit. It doesn't matter if it does, it's fine. The other book did not do that at all, but it's perfectly okay if it does. It just means that one side will open before the other, but otherwise it is perfectly okay. There we go. You can see how I scored that wrong there, but it's going to get covered over by our pattern paper, so that's not a big deal. Make that even on both sides. All right, so we've got those in. The next thing that we can do is with your page, this is the front of our page. Let me make sure I have this right. And we are going to we're going to mat the top of this one with that, and then the top of this one with that, and then we've got alternate patterns for that as well. So let's do this first, and they've all been edged with the vintage photo. And once we've got these mats on, we'll put the pockets on top, and then we'll do the rest underneath. Okay. And then I've got our other mat that is going to be sitting, I think that's right. Let me just check. Sorry about that. I think there's a, don't know if that's the paper or my pencil mark. It is a pencil mark. Must have been from before. So we're going to put that mat down, and then we'll turn to the other side. I didn't want to make this too symmetrical, but I also didn't want to use all the same papers and in matting that down. And this end doesn't matter because we're putting a pocket down over that. So this is going to, let me just fit that onto there. Some of the other things that we still have to do is finish off the front of the album with the flowers and the extra metal pieces. We need to finish that yet too. I forgot about that. And then we need to put our pages into our album. So I was thinking we were almost done, but I guess there's a lot more there to do than I was thinking. And I have started on my other project. So when asked to do the design team, guest design team project, I was asked to do 2 projects, and I have my second project started. I have a template started for that, and I'm excited to share that with you once I get going on that. So I'm hoping you're going to like what I did. And it's going to be using the Fruit and Flora paper as well. And basically it's going to be a gift box that will be cards and tags and things like that. So I will share it with you as soon as I get it's really a prototype that I've done that I've just worked it out with the navy blue cardstock, making sure it would work and fit, and now I just need to kind of get my demo up, and then by doing that I can get going on that. So I'm excited to share that with you. I've been thinking about it for quite a while. I actually had that in mind to do before I even had the mini album in mind, or how I was going to do the album. So there we go. So with that, we are going to take those pockets and we'll put them down onto here, and remember that it's just along the edges, a thin edge line. And on the top of the pocket, I did paper punch all of those, the top along the pockets. And our pockets are, very simply, the width is 4 3/4, and this is 1 1/2. And then that includes the punching along the top. So you'll need 4 of those. Just try to make sure these line up. And then for the pockets, what I ended up doing was I put in photo mats into here, but you can put little photo mats or booklets. I made mats just like this for them, but what I'm going to be doing with these is also putting paper on the back of that to brighten that, so it's not just a mat looking out, that I wanted to have some other paper out on there too. But I was waiting till I was completely done with the project so that I knew what I had in leftover paper. So always those little end pieces and remnants, they're good to fill those kinds of photo mats and tags and things like that. We have gotten some very sad news this last week that Donna Kaufman, who has a YouTube channel, Mini Books Are Me, passed away from cancer. And I know that I was very, very shocked. And not that I necessarily would be the one to know that she was sick, but sounds like a lot of people were unaware that she was not doing well. If you haven't visited her YouTube channel, you should, because she has got amazing tutorials on her YouTube channel. She also was a brand ambassador this year for G45. And the other thing that I found out is that she's an author. She actually writes romance fiction. So I thought that was amazing. I hadn't realized that. I'd heard it at one point, but I haven't read one of her books. I know the name, but I haven't read any of the books. But you should really check that out. And very, very, very sad for her family. So we're going to put down underneath here, we're going to do these 2 strips with this in the middle. I may have to cut this down. I'm going to put these down first, and then I'll fit the green in the middle. And I've edged with the vintage photo. And let's get these off, and we should be moving on. Well, we have a bright sunny day today. Today is Saturday in Wisconsin, and don't hear the kids out playing today, but nice weather. My daughter took the dogs out on a hike, and then they went running at the doggy park as well. So all is good in doggy land. They are very happy. So these are, again, 1 inch by 9 3/8. And making sure that they're not too close to the fold. We want to make sure that this still can bend in there. Do this other side. And again, not too close to the bend. We want to make sure we can move those without too much. Now, yep, it looks like we're going to have to cut just a little bit off. I thought that these might be a little bit wider at 1 inch, but I think that I thought it was better to maybe cut some of that green off versus trying to manage two different pieces of the complementary paper. So I think I will take just about, it looks like about 1/8 of an inch, about, and oops. Oh, I did those sides. Just want to put this down here. It looks like I could cut a little more off, but I'm going to leave it, and we should be fine. And on this, you can then match your photos. You can put photo mats down, or you can put your photos directly down onto onto the green mat. So let's try to line that up. Oh, I guess I better take a look at that top piece as well. A little bit of room up there, but it's neither here nor there. So the other thing that we ended up doing on this is putting one of the ephemera cards down on the bottom in the middle so that it could be a tuck spot. I made the matting last time a little bit bigger. This time I went smaller, using up some of my navy blue cardstock that I've got as remnants or pieces. So it's whatever size you want it to be. If you want 1/8 of an inch around the ephemera card, or if you don't want to put any matting on it, I just like to put the matting on it because I feel like it gives it a little bit more depth to it or strength to it. And then we're going to glue that just down along the bottom of that edge and put that to the edge of our matting in the middle. And I've got an ephemera card that I'll add in there. And some of these ephemera cards, they have nice colors on the back, but I may end up matting this with the navy blue cardstock as well. I'm just going to see what I've got left over in my cardstock. Then these also will get matted with cream. So I've got 12 mats that I've got to cut for those. And I will do that and put those on, and I'll show you through the final walkthrough. So that then, these pages are done. The ribbon that I cut was about, I think it was about 16 inches long. And you can see how much I put down into on the page and how much I left open. This is probably a nice size for those. So those are about 16 inches long each. And with the little doodads on them, I think they look really cute. And you can see this comes over that a little bit, but that's not really going to hurt anything to our page or to any of our matting. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do page 12. And this is our final page that we're going to be working on. Yay! Other than our front covers. Oops, I'm trying to... So this one is going to be, we've got a couple of flaps on here as well, and I've got some of my matting done on these. So we're going to go ahead and get our mats down right away. So we have two larger mats, or flaps, sorry, and the flaps are, I believe these are 12 inches. Yes, this is 12 inches across and 6 inches wide, and I scored a 1/2 inch on the one end, and then the second score was at 6 1/4, and that was done so that, again, we were a little bit shy of the fold so that we could fit the paper in there. This is actually going to go to one side, and then our other mat, I put the magnet down on this already on this side so that that was all set and ready to go. Now these mats, I believe they were all the same size. I did 5 7/8 by 5 1/2. So I guess the biggest thing is measure your flaps, and if it's 6 inches, then it should be 5 7/8 if you want an 1/8 inch border all around. The flap here is 5 1/2, so you're going to do 5 3/8 for that. So this is still 5 3/8. And this is 5 7/8. So just measure those out, and you should be good to go. So on these, on the flaps, we'll get those down and then we'll mat them. So I did miter the corners on these. I'll be honest with you, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. The only time that I think it's really important that you miter them is if you're going to be putting some pattern paper over the top and you don't want it showing. So get this. Oh, wait a minute. This is my page here. This is the side. This and this. Oh boy, I almost did that wrong. So the other thing that I did on this page is I used that little bit of ribbon again to so that you would know that you could flap that up. So we'll cut a little piece of the ribbon and put that down on the mat as well. All right. There we go. Love that sound of that snapping. So what we're going to do is get a little piece of ribbon, and I had used cream ribbon, or seam binding, I guess, and there we go. And let me put always remember, I've made the mistake with the score tape, putting it a little bit too close to the edge where it might show, because we have a navy blue edge to with our pattern paper. So just be careful with that, because again, I made a couple mistakes on that myself. This will be just a little tab. And I'm going to go over that like that, so that it holds it down on that side. And then we'll cover this with our patterned paper. All right, so I've got my pattern paper for this side, and we also have used vintage photo, edged it all. We'll get that down. I wanted this so this looked like it was upright. So just watch for the patterns on your paper as well. All right, and let me just match this piece up a little bit, and that's going to go down there. Just a little off there, but that's okay, because I have this piece that I'm going to be putting down onto there as well. So what I did with this is one of the stickers off of the sticker sheet, and I backed it with navy blue cardstock, and I'm going to just use this as a flap, and I'll make a photo mat to go in this. But this adds a little bit more color to the front of that page. I'm a little bit off there, but we'll have to just deal with that. So then, this was the paper that I keep feeling like I'm doing something wrong. The inside of this paper, and then we'll get the pocket down as well. So this is cut 9 3/8 by 7 inches, and you know that 7 inches is not hard and fast. You can cover the whole page. You can cut just down to your pocket. That's the size that I made my piece. Making sure I'm not too close to those edges, which I am a little bit on that side. Move that over just a teeny bit. All right. Now on here, what we have is we have a pocket that's going to go down right here, and we will cover that over with our patterned paper. And what I had done with the patterned paper in the past is I did put an additional, like this went up to the top, and then I put an additional strip down at the bottom. And because I didn't like necessarily how it fit, what I ended up doing was adding this ribbon and this buckle to the bottom. But I think what I'm going to do this time, and so changing it up a little bit, you can do, if you want to do this with the green piece down here, then you can make this a little bit narrower. But this is 9 3/8 by 2 7/8. And our pocket is 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 by 10 1/4, and that includes, then you're going to score on 3 sides at 1/2 inch. So what I want to do before I even put that paper down, I want to get my ribbon onto this piece of paper. And basically the size of this, I took a piece of the navy blue cardstock, and it is approximately 3/8 of an inch. It's not quite 1/2 inch. And then I put my score tape down that, and then I'm going to put my cream ribbon on top of that. So let's go ahead and I'm doing this because it gives the ribbon a little bit more weight to it rather than just putting ribbon across there on its own. So this is just a cream seam binding, which I got in my guess kit. And this is the same color as that little pull that I did on top. So I've tried to vary the colors of the ribbons as I went along a little bit. And I made this long enough, oh sugars. Well, let's just see what happens. I think I'll just, sugar plums. No forgiveness there. Let me see what that'll look like with the buckle on, because if it looks too off, I will have to do another one. You know, actually I could do the buckle off to the side instead of right to the middle. It doesn't always have to be right to the middle. So, sorry, I took that to my lap as I was looking at that. I think I may do that. I think I may just put it off to the side instead of making it exactly in the center. So, what do you think? For those of you that like perfect symmetrics, sorry. This is going to be a little bit off, but we should still be okay. So I'm going to take this, cut this off, and then I'm going to take my art glitter glue And I'm going to put it all the way down this. And then we'll end up wrapping this just around with the sides of the pocket as well. But I want to put this along here evenly. And then we can wrap that with our corners. I think that's pretty good, and what we'll end up doing is actually adding this onto that, just like this. I maybe should have put this down first, but live and learn. So my suggestion would be, in the next time around, is to take and put this paper down first, then put this down and wrap that around. I think that'll probably work a little bit better. So I'm going to take just a smidge off of this piece, and we will get that down. See if that's enough. I still need to take a little more. See, it's very little, but it makes a difference. Sorry. But I'd rather go slowly than cut too much off and making our papers not work. So I think this will be good this time around, or at least the best we can do. So here we go. And what we'll end up doing is folding that down and around, but I'm going to cut off this because I don't want it to go over the edge of that pocket and get in the way of anything we're putting in the pockets. So let's take that and use our bone folder. Make sure that's scored well. And let's get this here, and we are going to put this down here. And then we have our flaps right here. So I think that'll work just fine. I kind of like that off-centered a little bit. Get our glue on here. even that out on the page. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. All right. And then that'll hold that down, and that's how our page will look. So, and we'll put a mat down in here, but that is our 12th page, and we will get a booklet. I have a couple booklets that I have in that page right now. These are the booklets that I made for that page. And we have plenty of room for something a little bit thicker in there. You can see as that pocket goes. There we go. Well, how about that? 12 pages down. Now, the next thing that we want to work on is getting some mats done and getting the front of the our book done. But I think we're looking pretty good for everything. We have all of our pages that need to go in the book, and these are all our pages that are ready to go. And here's our book, and we've got our hinges. I did not put the score tape on all those hinges yet, but you know, I might even get those hinges in and on. I'm going to take and get my score tape on those, and we'll get putting our pages in as well. And then the only thing that will be left to do is to work on, maybe we should do this first, is to work on the front cover. You know what, maybe we'll do that. I'm missing, one of the things that I wanted to add to this is, these were some of the roses that were left over. But one of the things that I had on my other album was it had these really nice, this big long curly piece. I took some of the stems from some of the flowers. I'm not sure if you can see that, where I tried to curl them up because I liked that long curl in the flowers, and I tried with a smaller pencil there. These are just the ends of the roses. But they really didn't come out long enough. So I'm actually going to be getting some more wire, and I'm going to do a curly thing. I just haven't gotten it all yet, but that's what this is those curls. So we can take a look at what we have for our flowers here, and we have more of the tan left than we do of the cream. But what we did was we ended up putting the tan flower with a couple of the cream here, and then the cream flower over here with a couple of the leaves. So while it's not going to be exactly like the other book because of this is what I have left in the flowers, it will be just fine because I'm going to use up what I have, and I'm not going to use these curly Q things. I don't think. I may just take and cut them off and put that there, cut that off, put that one there. So I think what I may end up doing is doing something like this with our flowers. Maybe I'll do the cream. And what I liked is that we had this longer stem with the curly thing that went up. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna do that curly thing later. But I am going to take and put this stem down now, and then we'll do the flowers around it. So let's get that going. And honestly, I used art glitter glue. I wonder if I want it up this side because it might be better for gluing down. I think I'm going to do that. I used my art glitter glue and I've had great success with that. The only thing that you have to be careful of is opening your book and moving it around too much, because that can damage the flowers on the front of your album. So I don't put flowers on the front of my albums frequently because I prefer to be able to have them be a little bit more bland, not bland, but flat, so that I don't wreck the flowers on the front of it. That's really what I'm saying. Doesn't sound like it, but that's what I'm saying. So the other thing that I added onto here, and we talked about this in the beginning of the tutorial, is I did also add a metal leaf in there, and these were from Butterbee Scraps is where I bought that from. And I'm not sure if the numbers are exactly the same as they used to be, but this is just, if you look on their website, it's just a large leaf, is, I would say, is what you can look for on there. Boy, this one is really bent, where my other one wasn't bent quite as much. And let's put some of this down. Otherwise, another thing that you can use for the floral part to put them down onto your album is you can use hot glue. You can use Fabri-Tac, is also another good glue. And E6000, that always seems to work pretty good too. So while this isn't going to be exactly the same as the other one, that's A-okay. Everything doesn't have to always be exactly the same, as you can see by some of the mistakes I made along the way. But that's okay. Keep saying it enough and then I'll feel good about the mistakes I made, right? So I think I'm going to even put this into here as well. I think I'm going to do that. And I'm not going to use this little guy. And so the next step is, after we're done with this, is I'm going to have to let this dry overnight, so I won't be able to get the hinges done. I didn't think of that until right this second. So we're going to leave that, let that dry. We'll put this down with our other leaves. I also had 2 other leaves that I got from Butterbee Scraps, and these are, they're very thin metal. And I'm going to take those and put those down with this flower. And are we going to add? No, I think I like that single flower right there. So I'm going to put that down first, and then the metal. All right. Oops, that's the wrong way. I wanted it more facing this way. Hold that down tight. And these are really nice. These can even be bent if we want to bend it. But I'm going to actually leave them flat. I'm not going to do any bending of those because I think they could get caught on too many things. So I'm just going to leave it as is. That goes in there. The other thing that I added on to the front of this book was my butterflies, and I made those butterflies with my butterfly punch, of which I'm looking at right now. I can't find it. For goodness sakes, what did I do? Oh, here it is, right next to me. And this butterfly punch is wonderful. It is by EK Tools, and you can punch out 3 different butterflies with that. And then they're just as easy as 1, 2, 3 to put them together. So just take some of your favorite papers. And what I did is I actually took some of the brighter tones and did lighter ones underneath. So I'm gonna take one of these. Let's see. Could maybe use that one. Maybe even could use that. That might work too. Okay, let's try this. So what we are going to do is we'll punch out this. There's the bottom piece that is the first, bottom, middle, top. And this is the most solid. So I'm going to go ahead and punch out the bottom piece with this. See how that came out. That's our bottom piece, and then I'll do another one because I did 2 butterflies. So we've got 2 bases. Put that away. And then in the middle, I think I'll do this one, and oh, for goodness sakes, I did the base again. Sorry. So then this has to be moved to the middle. So if we want the middle one, which I did, but I didn't. And this comes out with a few more holes and punches in it. And I'm going to go down over here. We've got 2 of that. And then we will move on to our top one. And I wanted to get ones that were a little bit brighter. I think this will work, but let me do one here and we'll... Yes, that worked. We can see that. And let's do this one. The more ornate the piece gets, the more it gets stuck a little bit onto that. I wasn't even thinking I should have maybe not done that right on my book. All right. So then let's just take these little scraps away. We've got this done and this on. So what we're going to do next is to take our base piece and our second piece, and I'm going to layer those right on top. But what I do is I take a little bit, so you can see that center piece is the body of the butterfly, and we're going to take that and we'll get some glue on that back. And I just love this butterfly punch. I just love the depth and dimension you get from using it and putting it all together. I think it looks so pretty. And honestly, I don't think there's a rhyme or reason for how you need to put it together, but that was, I couldn't see. I think I have another, yeah, there is another. I couldn't even see these. So I'm going to put this one on top of this one. And you don't have to use the pattern paper. You can use solid paper colors if you want to, or maybe even some vellum might be a cute idea. I like the colors, so that's why I'm doing this. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'll just come back and do this one. Oops, it's our top one. So let me, this is actually our middle one. It's a little bit more solid. Or am I missing one? Yes, I am. I was right. This was my mess up one. Talk about a camouflaged butterfly. Goodness gracious. This was camouflaged. So that's our second one. It has some holes in it, but doesn't have as many as the top one does. So the top one is this one that has a lot of different holes in it. And we're just securing it in the middle. So I'll put that one down. And here is our first one that we've glued together. So we'll take that and pull those pieces apart so that it looks, there's a little bit more depth and dimension to it. And a bit more color to it. And we've got a nice dimensional butterfly. I think I'm going to put that one here. And there we go. We've got our cute little butterfly. So put the art glitter glue down the middle here, and I am going to take this one and put it right here going off on our booklet. Right in the middle, and this one I will take and do this one off on this side. Now the one that I did on the book previously, I had a little bit more green to it, and so again, you know, use whatever colors you would like to use. If you want to use the brighter ones or the, you know, something with less color, you can do that as well. So I'll do that. And I'm going to do this one right here. And then we're going to let all of that dry so that we don't wreck any of it, and we'll get our pages into our binder. Next video, or I'll see how I've gotten here. If I can add on to this video maybe tomorrow, I might try and do that as well. So we've got our front done on our mini album, and I think it looks pretty good. The other thing I said is that I'm going to go ahead and get the wire and possibly put, well, I might even be able to use this if I put that into here. I just really like the way that that small circle looks. So, all right, well, if this video hasn't gone on too long, I will be back with getting our pages into the album. I'll probably be back tomorrow, though, to finish this video. Otherwise, if I'm not back, then you'll know. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day. Thank you. All right, crafters, I am back. I did add a couple more things to this. I added another bud or two, and I put the smaller pieces of wire along here, and I added my score tape onto my hinges as well. I thought I would like to get this done and not go into another tutorial with you, so we can be done, and that's always a good thing. So again, with the matting and things like that, I am going to add some more matting. The other thing that I want to add on, and I'm not going to add that on until I get the pages done, is I took one of the ephemera butterflies and put that onto the side of here too. I am not sure whether I'm going to do that or not, but I thought it looked very nice and not sticking out too much. So I am going to go ahead and let's get our pages into our book. And what I was trying to do was to hold that up a little bit, and we're going to start from the back of our binder and go forward. I like to do that a little bit better. And I do have score tape on both sides, and I did not miter these edges because remember what I said, that I made them shorter than I normally do, and that was because so I could get more length to my my pattern paper in there. So let me just grab, these are all our pages. I'm going to just grab them and make sure that I have these in order. I think I remember how I had them, but I just want to make sure I do. So this one goes onto our hinge in this direction. So that way. So we're going to be putting this down, and I want to make sure that I am even all the way around, but I am actually going to be adding some art glitter glue to that as well to give us an opportunity to be able to move that a little bit. And I am also going to, I was going to try something that I saw another crafter do, that they took their score tape, and this is not that this is revolutionary, but I know that I said I was going to do the art glitter glue. You know what? I want to make sure that this isn't just held on by score tape. So I guess I'm not going to do that then. Apologize. So let's get our page on our hinge, and I want to just back a little ways from the scoring line so that we're not too close to that, and that I want to make sure that I'm even going on. I'm going to push that up just a little bit more, I think, and then we'll put that down onto there. I'm praying I'm straight. Ugh, if I'm not going to be happy. So if we pull this way, then we've got score tape on the other side of here. And just use my hook to get in there to pull that tape out of there. And I am going to go back in with some of my art glitter glue. sure I'm sturdy and straight on all of that, especially the first one. All right, so let's go and let's work on our next page. And we're going to put some art glitter glue on here as well. And to our next page. This is going to go on like this. Sorry if this is a little bit out of frame. I don't mean to be. Even that up with our page. Looks like we're even. I actually saw another crafter that used the 3/4 inch hinge as well, and she did not score at 1/4 inch. I might try that out the next time as well, because this is very thick cardstock, and we'll see how that, I might see how that works for me. Right, got that one in. Looks pretty even all the way along as I get all my mess here. Sorry. Crafting is not clean, it's messy. So, I think I'm pretty straight. All right, let's get our next page in. You know, the other thing that I didn't talk about is I did not talk about putting in inserts into our pages. I might have talked about it at the beginning. So inside all of these, what I had done was I had put, let me see if I got the wrong pages here. Hold on. Ugh, I put it on the wrong way. God darn it. Oh, sugar plums. Well, let's not do that again, but let me see. I think we'll be fine. Do I want to do this so that it goes with that, or... Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this because I put it in the wrong way. Ugh. Shouldn't be talking so much. Should be looking at more what I'm doing. So this is actually supposed to be on this side and this side on here, but it still works. It's not that it's wrong per se. Just don't like to have all these ribbons necessarily all together. So, but we'll be okay. So I've got this page on, and we're going to make sure that this page is to the front and this page is to the back. That was I think that's what confused me. I was thinking that the back page that I was working with, looking at it, thinking it was the page that I needed for the front there. So sorry about that. I hope that didn't mess anybody up, but again, it isn't that big of a deal. And if it is, I can always pull the page off. see what we can do about getting it stuck back on again. I think it'll be fine. This is our So anyways, I was talking about the inserts, and I made my inserts 9 by 9 and to go inside the pockets, and I was going to take and put them like photo mats. So I think I have a little bit of a score tape down here. I'll have to erase some of that so it doesn't get stuck later on, but I think we're doing okay. All right. Okay, so I did the wrong side there, but that's okay. Won't kill us. So the next one that we're going to be putting in is our page. It will be this page. It is our flap page, so that's going to be this one. And let's get our hinge set. Okay. So we've got that going there, and this one is on this side. And where's my hooky thing? My fish hook, that's what I call it. Getting this side out is a little bit more difficult, and that's part of the reason why I do the front first, so I can, there we go. So we've got a little bit more of our art glitter in there to hold that down. We're doing good. And I think we're pretty even all the way along. A little bit off, but not too bad. Let's go to this one. So when we're done here, go ahead and cut your photo mats and put them in, or if you don't like a photo mat inside, you don't have to do that, but you can use that inset then for maybe putting some things in there that your memorabilia that you want to keep. And it's always a nice pocket on your album. All right, so we've got just a little bit more here. If I can get this done. So match that up. All right, got that one in. Take care of this. You know, the other thing is that, you know, the way I put the pages together, the pocket pages together, I feel like it gives them a little bit more room on the inside as well. So I'm going to continue to do that. I like the way that that looks, and I'm going to try to bend this in that 1/4 inch a little bit. Alrighty, one more, and we've got it. Hope I didn't forget anything else. I know I said I was going to do some matting and some photo mats and those different things. I like to do booklets, and I like to do all kinds of different things for matting. So take a look at some of the other crafters' YouTube pages, see how they do their matting, their mats, photo mats. Also with taking a look at some of the other photo mats that I did on when I did the walkthrough of the other album. You can see I did, I made some little booklets. I made just some plain photo mats. This is our, sorry, this is our little bit more hefty page. And just whatever you want to do. If you want to even take the back of some of those photo mats and put some lined paper or cards on the back of there, that also works as well. And I'm kind of one of those people that I like to write on a line. Some people like to make their own lines, and let me see, what do we have here? So we can see that everything is in. We're pretty even all the way through. Not too bad. I might be a little bit off here, but other than that, I think we've got our book done. So I don't think it's so bad. It's a little bit of an extra on that hinge there, but it gave us more room for our paper to, and this also with that additional hinge helps us for our album to lay a little bit flatter. Not as flat, but there's things on the back of that. So we've got our pages that turn and move. Well, these magnets don't seem like they're, I have to figure that out. I think it's because of the way that I put those flaps on. And we've got this little guy here and this and that, and we're at our back page. So it's a little bit wobbly because of the things on the front page, but otherwise I think we turned out pretty good. Thank you so much for taking the time with me and getting this wonderful album done. Like I said, I have my next project that I've made a prototype for, but I don't have it all done. But I think it'll be really cute once it is. And I'm going to enjoy sharing it with you. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care.